Hello and welcome to Cosmos with Bailey. I am Bailey. So I woke up with a message today and the message was usually I get shown very specifically if I need to do a video, and I was shown very clearly this morning and between waking. So this message is about a message of integration. So what happens sometimes in Cosmos is that we can integrate higher aspects of our soul and soul essence. And when that begins to happen, everything that was created with the old mode of our existence has to end, because the higher aspects of integration that are coming through and have come online don't resonate or match with what was previously created. So if you are feeling like, I am done here, I want to move on, I'm done, I want to move out of this, you've had a really hard few years, nothing is working anymore, and you feel really dissonant in your energy and what is happening in the physical, and you just don't want to continue it, chances are very, very highly likely this message is not for everyone. Some souls now are going to go into a dark night of the soul, but what is happening for a lot of us now, this seems to be widespread, is that a higher integration of our soul essence or our life force is coming in, and it would have happened over the past few months, but there is a culmination point for these things that happen, and you could all of a sudden just find everything goes and you can't do it. There's something that's happened within you and you just can't do it anymore, and there's nothing to freak out about. It's literally just an integration of your higher energies coming online into your vessel. This changes our entire consciousness and what we were perceived of ourselves before the integration happens. And when that integration happens, we no longer resonate with the old mode of what we were creating or we experienced ourselves in. So do not freak out if you all of a sudden are looking back. I felt it the last few weeks, but this date I highlighted on the calendar about a month ago, the 22nd. And it's like a new part of you walks into your awareness, and you're like, oh my gosh, what have I been doing? And when this begins to happen, that means that other doorways open up in Cosmos. Our pathways get opened up to higher expressions and creation, and we get opportunities to move into different ways of being that previously weren't open to us. There's an incredible amount of movement going on at the moment in the cosmos, and as an example of that, we experience that down upon the earth. And there's a lot of collapse happening in for the masculine energy. So I would really heed you to go and watch the energetic tune in for men, to see why things have just stopped working for you. You just can't continue with what previously happened. And it'll give you some highlights and guidance as to what to do in those situations. So it seems like a higher energy has come through, and that means that everything previously, I had some things happen to me the last few days, and I honestly felt like a whole different part of my soul had come back in, and I'm just, it was really intense. Like, you may have felt like the old you was leaving. This seems to be very, very prevalent for today, and just not wanting to continue anymore with what had taken place previously, and just letting it be and walking away from it. So, yes, that means that higher doorways get opened in Cosmos. How we previously knew ourselves no longer exists. Therefore, everything on the old mode of being is just going to finish. And it's really, really important to just let things be. Don't get involved in other people's upheavals. Let it be. Let yourself be carried. Let the things play out and collapse. And yes, a higher message of integration. A higher message of integration. There's a definite changeover taking place. I will be coming out with a video for September, the equinox and the themes we can experience for the next 2 years. plus insights and prophecies on what you can do to handle chaos over the next few years and not be a part of it. So, yes. It's like a lot of higher energies of our soul expression have come into the body. And this doesn't happen all the time. This seems to be very widespread, and it's because something has happened and opened up in cosmos. So now it is allowing higher aspects of our soul that we didn't previously have access to come in online. And so that's when our whole entire consciousness changes. And we have a very odd experience where it's like, who was I? What was I doing? And why was I doing that? So it can be mildly confronting, and it's like watching an old fading ghost, a ghost of your past just leave, and you're like, okay, it's a fading of your old self. So, and when those new energies come in, that means everything changes in the physical, and we get access to higher abundance, more happiness, joy, and things that are more in alignment with our higher expressions. Okay, so I think that's it. So when integration happens, that means our whole entire physical reality has to change to match the higher energies. So it's a very exciting time, but also it can be full of upheaval, endings, crash and burn situations, and just wanting to walk away from everything you've created and not wanting anything more to do with it because it's dissonant. And there's probably a lot of toxicity in the old line, and yes, okay. Thank you, and enjoy the very, very quick integration process, and anything could happen. Anything could happen, and do not believe everything the physical is telling you right now. I'm also just adding a little bit extra into the video, and that when these soul integrations happen of our life force, what can happen is we can also experience emotional upheaval and being really, really sensitive and just crying out of nowhere, and just it's like two energies, one energy is leaving and a new energy is coming in, and so it can create a bit of friction, and it's like two energies, one energy is leaving, a new one is coming in, and so it can feel quite uncomfortable and as we experience it, and there is emotional waves as things sort of try and figure themselves out within you, and then they leave, and then more stuff comes in to be figured out, and then it leaves. So if you are having emotional purging going on, it's a really good sign that things are changing within you, and when those changes within you, that means the external also changes. And after this date, the 22nd, integration continues more and more and more. So you could feel it, and then for the next few months, the next 3 months, that those integration energies will work their magic in the physical, and you could find yourself in a completely different world over the next few months, right through until March, which is the equinox. And then we have the equinox on the 23rd of September, which has the themes. I'm not going to talk about that just yet, but yeah, it can be very uncomfortable in the physical vessel to have these higher integrations come in and have the old ones. It's almost like a little bit of a little bit of uncomfortableness as it just sort of leaves your energy and the new energy comes through. Okay. Thank you very much, and stay tuned for the next video.